So in Genesis 28, we see Jacob leave to find a wife, just as Isaac did. Uh, Abraham didn't want Isaac to marry someone who was not a worshiper of Yahweh. And likewise, Isaac didn't want that for his son. So he sends Jacob off to find a wife from amongst his people. Now, Esau hears that Jacob obeys his parents and seeks a godly wife. And what does he do? In return, he goes to seek an ungodly wife. He goes to the tribe of Ishmael's and takes another wife. So he has multiple wives, and he does this really to spite his parents and say, "Oh, you're unhappy with these pagan women or these women who are not worshiping the one true God. Well, I'm going to marry one just to spite you." So we see the attitude there of Esau, and partly this is why God rejects Esau and giving him the blessing. He was not one who was seeking the honor of God and the worship of God. Now Jacob sleeps at this place that we would translate as Bethel or Bethel, and he has this dream, and he sees this stairway to heaven, or sometimes called Jacob's ladder, and where angels are ascending and descending, and he realizes or feels that this vision is given to him because this is a holy place, and this would be the land that would be given to Israel, and God promises to multiply Jacob's descendants, just as he had done to Abraham and to Isaac. And so Jacob, we see here inheriting this promise as he goes and seeks God, even after this act that perhaps God didn't, wasn't he defrauds Esau. So this wasn't something that God told him to do. He simply did it. But we see that a judgment really upon Esau for the wickedness of his heart. But here, God continues this promise as Jacob seeks him, and Jacob promises to uh, tithe to God as he says, "Make this possible, right? Bring me back safely on my trip, and I will make this a house of worship, and I will give a tenth of all I have to you." And so there's uh, a heart or a reflection there, a devotion by Jacob to God of him realizing that God is with him and wanting to give of his wealth, not saying, "God bless me." I mean, in a certain sense, he's asking for God's blessing, but he's not saying, "Lord, make me wealthy," right? He's saying he's asking for God's spiritual blessing in prolonging, right, his offspring, and saying, "I'm going to give a tenth to you." And so we see the heart there of Jacob in wanting to honor God with all that he has, even with his wealth. And he wants God's blessing in all he does. And ultimately, so should we, right? We should seek God and want his blessing in all and turn to him in prayer. And a part of our prayer as we trust God is then we are able to give and knowing God blesses and provides for us. Have a blessed day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.